Tragic and untimely death of Jon-Erik Hexum. We held it for a while, but decided it was appropriate to run it now. It was at the height of his young career, now ended. Along with the rest of the world, we'll miss him. Here is Jon-Erik Hexum. I understand you've just done a feature film.
Well, not just in the winter, but it'll be out in just a couple of weeks. The Bear.
But I mean, The Bear?
Yeah, it's called The Bear. It's the story of Bear Bryant, the football coach at the University of Alabama. Do you know him? Do you know him?
Yeah, sure I do.
Really?
He's the greatest college coach in the history of the game.
Yes. I play Pat Trammell, his quarterback, in the 50s and 60s.
Gary Busey is playing The Bear.
Gary Busey plays The Bear, yeah.
What do you play?
I play Pat Trammell, quarterback.
Oh, you're the quarterback.
Yeah, well, he's got a whole bunch of quarterbacks, but this is a particular quarterback that he was real good friends with. They're real tight, drinking buddies.
We talked last year about your football career in college. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to, because you...
Not very stellar, actually.
Well, you were a bench warmer, is that right?
Yeah. Yes, that's what I mean.
What was the competition like?
It was better than me. The Michigan State. I mean, it's a real good school.
That's a big football college.
Yeah, big football
well,
college.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I play now and then. I play strong safety, be on the kickoff teams, that sort of thing.
But when you played in this film, did you do much actual playing?
Not too much. I did a little bit when we got to do the close-ups. You know, and that's really...
You had a stuntman doing calling the plays?
Oh, yeah, for the wide shots, yeah. They don't let the actors in there.
Tell me how you got started in the business.
Well, I had gone to school for all kinds of different things, and
What were you studying?
Biomedical engineering, for I don't know what reason. It makes no sense at all, and it's very, very, very boring. And I didn't want to do it. I was always going to get out and go to New York and be an actor, and I decided that after a while that I really ought to hurry up and do that. So as soon as I graduated, I went right to New York, about 3 days later, and got a few jobs and worked a little bit, did a little bit of modeling, not a whole lot, but a little bit. And then...
I would have thought you'd be discovered right away.
Well, see, I started to do some, and then I met my manager, and he suggested that I, get out of that. I mean, there is a negative stereotype about models that, wrong or right, it kind of hurts you. There's enough problems as it is. So I got out of that and went to L.A.
How did you meet your manager?
Cleaning apartments.
He was cleaning apartments?
No, I was cleaning apartments. If he were cleaning, I would have had second thoughts. But I would go around and get people's apartments I could clean or whatever I could do at any time. You have auditions during the day, and I couldn't maintain a steady work schedule.
Part of the time you were a high-fashion, glamorous model, and the rest of you're cleaning somebody's bathroom?
Yeah. I would play pianos in bars, and I was a doorman at a bunch of bars.
You played piano?
Yeah.
You have all these talents, and you were cleaning somebody's apartment?
Well, you got to make the bucks, I wasn't making enough money to pay the rent, so... That's what I do.
I'm astounded.
In any case, a friend of my manager's owned one of the apartments. And we talked a little bit. He said, well, you should meet this guy. And I said, sure. And so I did, and we talked and signed up.
How'd you get from New York to Hollywood?
I went to test for Summer Lovers.
What's
a film that was not a big hit, obviously. Peter Gallagher did it. It was about 2 years ago, or a year ago, something like that. And I just stayed out there. I got some other offers to do other things for the networks. And that's when we started Voyagers.
Oh, that's right. That was the series.
This series last year, yeah.
And how long did that last?
A year. But it was against 60 Minutes. And they trampled us. Does anybody remember that show? One guy remembers that show. See what I mean? We didn't do real well.
It was full of... Somebody said it was full of violence.
No. Yeah, the National Coalition Against TV Violence said it was, but... they don't consider content. It was, it's like grabbing the pirate by the nose, kind of spinning him around. It wasn't really violent at all.
But, considering the chances of a series running a year...
Yeah, well, we
amazing.
did good against 60 Minutes. At least we stayed on a year.
And then did the break come with the Joan Collins TV film about the male model?
Yeah, I started that about 5 weeks after we were canceled. But I don't know if that was a big break, really. I was already working for a year. And doing things certainly helped a lot.
Tell me then his cover-up must be the big break.
I don't know. It's kind of slow. We kind of just go from job to job. And things move...
I read about you in People magazine, and you're the hottest. I know they use the word hunk all the time, but you're also an actor. But it sounds like you are the coming big leading man.
Well, that sounds nice, but you never really know. They often write whatever makes good print at the moment.
Well, they've written a lot of print about your new series cover.
It'll be a good show. It's very, very exciting. Lots of action, lots of adventure, lots of mystery. Jennifer O'Neill's in it. It's one very good reason to watch. And we have designer clothes every show.
Somebody said the two most beautiful people in the business are in the same series together.
Thank you. I don't know. It's a fun show. Should do well.
But you're really grounded in reality, aren't you? You don't have your eyes are not in the clouds. You've been through the mill, and
because it goes slow. It really, we work every day, like 15 hours, and it just goes very slow. And you still got to drive to work, and still got to do your wash and all that. So a lot of things change, but a lot of things don't really.
But a lot of people, when they get a series, they go crazy. They buy a big house and they do all this stuff.
Yes, a good friend of mine did that. Got the limousine and brought us all out to dinner and things, and we were drinking champagne. And the series lasted about 13 weeks and kind of shot his cash.
What are the chances for a network television series nowadays? It seems to me it's like a lottery.
It's 11%, I think.
11%?
Like yeah, well, 23 new shows on last season and 4 are still on. So the odds are poor. But we have a wonderful lineup, and we're on CBS, and we're against 2 new shows on ABC and NBC, so we have a good chance.
And if you don't, you can go and do another feature film.
Or something. Yeah, I used to worry about a lot more, but if it doesn't work, I just go and we'll get something else.
Well, last year you brought in a poster.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think some of the staff haven't gotten over that one yet. So have you done any more poster work?
Yeah, we have a couple more posters coming out, and 2 posters come out from the show. With a Marine poster, I do a Marine poster, sort of join the Marines, not just a job, all that kind of stuff, which is how I get the modeling jobs and become an agent for the CIA, and that poster is being released by 20th Century Fox. So
that's going to publicize the show?
Yeah.
What about magazine layouts?
We did quite a bit of that sort of thing for Armani and Versace, Jeffrey Banks, a lot of different clothes for GQ, Harper's Bazaar, Vogue.
How about Playgirl?
They're doing the cover of Playgirl in November.
The cover of Playgirl?
We don't, however, do the inside. Well, we do the inside, but I got my clothes on. You know what I mean? Come on.
Well, it takes a lot more makeup if you don't wear clothes.
Really? Really?
Now, that did a lot for Burt Reynolds, evidently.
Well, that was Cosmopolitan.
Oh, was it?
And yes, and it helped him in one way, but it rather undermined his credibility for a number of years, and you'll notice that he didn't get a lot of serious acting jobs, in the 3 years following that.
Well, if you appeared in the centerfold of Playgirl, without your clothes, maybe you get a nice light frothy comedy to do.
Perhaps.
Would you like to do a light comedy?
Oh, sure, I'd love to, but I'd love to do some serious things too. And it's amazing how conservative Hollywood really is.
Really?
Yeah, because the guys up in the offices, the executives, are all dressed up in their gray suit and tie.
They wear ties in Hollywood?
Yeah,
I thought it was only in New York that the executives wore ties.
No. It's all a facade about the slick guys that kind of run around. There are some of those, but
I thought they all had T-shirts and tennis shoes and that.
For the most part, they're pretty conservative because they're concerned. At least their projections of what the audience wants are very conservative about the Midwest and the Bible Belt and Jerry Falwell and his followers.
The moral majority has a lot of clout.
Oh, certainly. I mean, not so much the people that are formal members of the moral majority, but people that informally ascribe to that kind of philosophy.
Are they watching the soap operas? They don't seem to be full of morals.
That's true, but I think the soap operas have a more narrowly defined demographic than nighttime primetime shows.
What is the demographic on soap operas as opposed to your show, for example?
It's more heavily. I think skewed toward women, 35, give or take 10 years.
Your show or the soaps?
No, the daytime soaps.
And children? Because kids come home from school, watch the soaps.
Yeah,
so the immoral stuff
actually high school girls come home
for
and
women
watch
and
the
children.
Soaps, really. Yeah.
And the straight, upstanding stuff is for the men.
I think that's a rather broad generality, actually. It's just that the nighttime concerns men, women, and kids, because everybody's home at night watching TV.
Did you ever do a soap in your varied career?
I carried a bedpan in the doctor's once in the background. That's all I did. I really did. And that's it.
I love it. You come on as the most glamorous figure in contemporary show business, and you talk about just down-to-earth fella. That's all you are, John.
Yeah, but that's because life is like that.
You're right. You're right. You've learned a lesson.
It's
But didn't they used to sort of try to provide an image where they came out and there was not a hair out of place, and you got the impression that they didn't do things that ordinary people do, like go to the John?
Yeah, I thought more in the old studio system, you know, when that was alive and well in the 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Well, I want to tell you, you're a breath of fresh air, and it's good to have you on the show.
Nice to be here.
Jon-Erik Hexum. Coming up, Jody Goodman, another breath of fresh air. We